Hey, what's up? Are you looking for a Canadian Linux distribution, or maybe you're a Canadian looking for an alternative to Microsoft Windows? And so today I'm going to talk about Maple Linux, which is a new Linux distribution. Yes, you heard that right, another one. But this one here is built in Canada and it's designed for your privacy. It is also maintained by Canadians, and so I'm going to explain why this matters right now in these times. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit about myself because over the years I used many Linux distribution. And so for example, I used Ubuntu, which is coming from Canonical, a company based in UK. And then I also used Linux Mint, both the normal version and also the LMDE version. And I think Linux Mint is an operating system developed by volunteers around the world, but it's mostly based in Ireland, I think. And then Pop! OS, which is developed by an American company. So in the last years, Linux has been a very important part of my life, and I even made a lot of videos about it on my YouTube channel. And usually I stick to Debian-based Linux distribution because I feel safe, it's stable, I like having a user-friendly GUI, and I try to avoid using the terminal. And so yes, sometimes I have to use it, but usually I try to avoid it because that's not something that I'm interested in. So overall, it just makes my work easier and it's smoother to use. But it's not just Linux. Yes, I moved to Linux, but I also try to remove myself from companies like Microsoft, Google. I'm still using a little bit Amazon and Facebook, but you see, I don't trust any of these American companies. And with the recent events that are happening right now in the world, I just made the conclusion that maybe the goal is not just to avoid big tech companies, but maybe anything that is American. Maybe the goal right now is to erase everything that is American in my life. And so the reason I think Maple Linux is a really great idea is because it's built in Canada. And right now, since we're moving away from the United States, we have to work on our own independence. We have to work for our own digital landscape, our own sovereignty. And this is where Maple Linux comes in. The mission of Maple Linux is to strengthen Canada's data and digital sovereignty. If we're going to move away from the United States, Canada will need to build its own AI, its own platforms, its own tech, its own operating system, and this is where Maple Linux comes in. So yes, I think this is a great idea, and I would absolutely love to support this. But I see many challenges with this, and the first one is that maybe it is a bit early right now, meaning that the project is still very small, it is very lean and very minimalistic. Another thing as well is that the Linux market is still very small, and so if you compare the Linux market to something like Windows or Mac OS, Linux is already very small, but if on top of that you make a distro that is specially for Canadians, then it is even smaller. Another interesting as well is that Linux is open source, and usually open source projects, how they work is that it's just a bunch of volunteers around the world that contribute to the project. And so the fact that you put the restrictions for Canadians, it also puts a restriction on the developers because that means that if it's only for Canadians, then it means that only Canadians can contribute and volunteer for it. But I don't know how that can turn into. Maybe Maple Linux could turn into something like Ubuntu, which is managed by literally a UK company, or maybe even Pop! OS, like it is managed and developed by an American company. And so if Maple Linux or something similar can achieve that, then I think that can be very interesting. The only thing is that they need to figure out how to make money out of it. And as of right now, I don't see many things like Maple Linux. And right now, I'm on distrowatch.com filtering for Canadian distros. And so there are many distros in Canada, developed in Canada. And so currently there's Arch Linux. This one is a huge one. But in my case, I'm not really interested in Arch Linux because it is way too complex and that's not something that I'm interested in. There are also some BSD operating system, and that this is not something that I'm interested in. I think there are many Debian-based distros, but most of them seem to be very specialized into something. And so in my case, I just like having a general purpose operating system where I can do a bit of everything. And if I need something, then I can just install it. And so I think Maple Linux could be great if it becomes some sort of general purpose operating system, maybe a Canadian alternative to something like Microsoft Windows and macOS from Apple. Anyway, let's look at the website really quickly. Maple Linux built in Canada, designed for your privacy. And so the privacy and performance is usually quite a normal thing for Linux distribution. Here it says you don't need the latest, greatest hardware to enjoy Maple Linux. That is true. You can run Linux on older computers. Another cool thing about Linux as well is that you're not forced to upgrade your system just like Windows does. What happened with Windows, for example, is that you had to upgrade to Windows 11, but then many people had to purchase a new computer. But here with Linux, man, this is great. You don't have to do that. It's free. Yes, it's free and open source. So you don't have to purchase a license just like you have to do with Windows. So you're actually saving money. And then it says that it's powered by Debian. Debian has a reputation for stability and quality. And that's true. I think that if you're going to build an operating system, you have to start on Debian. It is probably the best base that you can have. Some distros decide to start on Ubuntu, but I think that if you start on Ubuntu, it is more challenging because you're going to remove parts of the OS. But Debian is just a safe pick, and I'm glad that they chose Debian. And one of the reasons why Debian is trusted and neutral is because it is not owned by a specific country. It is not owned by a company. It is open source and it is developed by people all around the world. And so it is a really good project. And then here, privacy focused. It's modeled on the Canadian and the EU privacy standards. This is great. I think this is the first distro that is referring to the GDPR. So I think that's quite cool. Maple Linux is also bundled with Cinnamon Desktop, and this environment is coming from Linux Mint. And so when you're using Maple Linux, it really feels like Linux Mint. And so Linux powered the internet, AI, and millions of computers globally? Yes, because most servers are using Linux. Doesn't harvest your data, that's important because Windows, and I don't know about macOS, but maybe they're doing it as well. There's no ads as well. You save on IT costs. Yes, that is also true because Windows is expensive. Increase the lifespan of your hardware. That's also true. So the way I see it is that Maple Linux is basically just Debian. They put the Cinnamon Desktop and they just brand it as some sort of Canadian distro built by Canadians. I think this is simple and this is perfect. Anyway, I installed Maple Linux. I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to remove my camera. It kind of looks like this, and there's the menu here. It really feels like Linux Mint, honestly. It's perfect because, yes, it is true that it is simple and minimalistic, but it just works. And so the installation was pretty straightforward. You just install Linux on a USB key, you plug into your computer, you boot into it, and then you install, you go through all the menus here, you go into some sort of funnel, and then out of the box, Maple Linux comes with a bunch of softwares. It comes with Inkscape, Thunderbird, LibreOffice, Firefox, and they also added LibreWolf, and so if you're into some sort of privacy, and so if you want to use GIMP, it's not there by default, so you can go into the store and install it. And talking about the store, the software manager only has Debian packages, and so I think that can be a little bit limiting. And so in my case, I really love using flatpaks. And so if you want to use flatpaks, what I would recommend is that you go on flathub.org and then you set up the FlatHub on Linux. So you set up FlatHub, you choose Debian because it is Debian based. And so what you want to do is that you install, first of all, Flatpak. And so you put that into your command line. And then you install the plugin right here. You want the GNOME one, the first one right here. And then this one. And then you go to the third step, you add the repo. And then you restart your computer. And when you do that, what that's going to do is that it's going to add the flatpaks to the software manager. This way, if you're searching for a software, let's say Steam, then you can choose between the Debian package and FlatHub. One thing that I'm gonna say about browsers is that yes, it comes with Firefox. By default, every Linux distro comes with Firefox, but it also comes with LibreWolf, which is really good for online privacy. But in my case, I usually prefer Chrome-based browsers. I would love to use Helium, which is a Chrome-based browser, and you can use the app image. But I would love to use the flatpaks, but it's just not available yet, unfortunately. So in my case, what I'm using right now is that I'm using Brave as a flatpak. So again, if you want to use Brave, then you have to install the flatpak. Another thing that is really important to talk about is everything related to GPU drivers. And so by default, when I installed it on my desktop, and so in my case, I have an Nvidia GPU. And so it came with Nuvo, which is the open source Nvidia driver. And I think Nuvo is perfectly fine for basic use of computer. And so if you just do normal stuff on your computer, then I think Nuvo is perfectly fine. But if you actually need real performance for, let's say, gaming, or if you are doing some video editing, or maybe some AI, or streaming, or video, anything, if you do anything heavy, then I think eventually you're going to need the proprietary NVIDIA driver. And so if you want the real proprietary NVIDIA driver, then you have to install them manually. And so here, if you're going to do that, you have to make sure that you know what you're doing. I would not recommend this for beginners. But if you're going to install it, what I would do is that I would go on the NVIDIA drivers. I would be looking for my product. In my case, I have a 3060 operating system. Make sure that you choose Linux 64-bit. And then you search that. And then here you get the latest driver. And basically you're going to download the .run file and you simply execute it and you go through the funnel. In my case, I already have it installed. Just make sure that you're also installing the 32 bits architecture if you're going to use Steam or things like that. And also I would not recommend using the Nvidia Debian package because they're too far behind, and so you're gonna have conflicts with the kernel and the NVIDIA driver. And so I would go with the .run file here. It's probably easier like this. So yes, technically I managed to install the NVIDIA driver and it works, except right now for DaVinci Resolve that I still need to figure out how to make it work. But ideally what would need to happen, is that just like Pop! OS, and other distributions, I would love to have NVIDIA pre-bundled with the operating system. That would make my life much easier because I don't really like dealing with all these gimmicks and stuff. And so if everything is working out of the box, then it doesn't give me a bunch of headaches. Because right now, even though it's installed on my computer, I know that eventually it's probably going to break. Maybe the NVIDIA version is going to become incompatible by doing an upgrade of something. And so if the operating system can manage everything, I think that would make my life so much easier. So that's kind of what I think about Maple Linux. I think the idea is really great and I really want to support something like this. If it's not Maple Linux, I hope that maybe we're gonna have something else. So I think I'm gonna stick to it at least on my laptop here because I don't have to do big work. But on my desktop, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it yet. We'll see how that goes. If I can make DaVinci Resolve work, maybe I'll keep it for a little while. If I'm not, then maybe I'm gonna go back to Pop! OS. And you see, another thing to keep in mind is that we don't know if this project will actually survive on the long term, because I think creating a Linux operating system can be quite easy. I mean, I don't know how to do it personally, but there are just so many Linux distros, and over time, they just get abandoned. The maintainers just don't care enough to maintain it, or maybe they just don't make money. And so in my case, what I would love to see is that I would love to see an alternative to something maybe like Ubuntu or maybe something like Pop! OS, but from Canada. I would love to support this. It's built in Canada. We build our digital sovereignty. I love this. And they are a small team. I think right now, if I look at the comments, they seem to have around 3 developers. And the last time that it was maintained, it says last month here, but it's actually on November 24th. And today it is January 23, so it is actually 2 months. It's going to be 2 months tomorrow. And so right now, I think Maple Linux is very lean, very minimalistic. As I see it right now, it's just Debian with Cinnamon desktop with some sort of Canadian branding, and that works for now. Now we'll just see if it develops into something bigger. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you've reached the end, you could consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and if you have any questions, you can leave them below because I will answer everything, and your comments could be valuable to other people as well. And if you're interested in installing and in trying Maple Linux, then I think a few years ago I made a video on how you can install a Linux-based operating system using, again, the USB key. And so I'm going to make the video on the screen. You can check that video, and that's going to show you how you can do it. All right, see you in the next video. Peace.